Morning, Paul.
Morning, Richard.
Welcome to our show, Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
A weekly show where we talk about our week and the things that have happened to us. It's terribly interesting and exciting, and what varied lives we lead, Paul.
Really?
Not really.
No.
It's totally boring. Switch off now. I'd recommend it. So welcome to our channel. If you're new, if you've joined us recently and subscribed to our channel, subscribe. It's a nice word, isn't it? Subscribe. What? No, I'm just saying it's a nice word.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting you to subscribe or anything like that.
What about subscription?
Subscription.
Oh, you sounded a bit doodah then.
Doodah?
Yeah. Kenneth Williams.
Matron. So yeah, welcome, thank you, all the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul since 2017, that's contractual. And our coffee page where you can support us by buying us a coffee.
Did someone just buy you that coffee I just made for you? Did you enjoy it? I think that's a yes.
I was just making pleasant noises, although they sounded vaguely sexual.
Did they? I don't remember those. Don't remember those at all. No.
Anyway, welcome. We've got lots to talk about coming up in today's show.
Are you going to do a sort of like this morning thing where it sort of flies things in and you're like boo and then boo, boo.
Yeah.
A woman talks about having her breasts enlarged 16 times. Boo! No. Yeah. We should do that, shouldn't we?
Coming up on today's show, we talk about things.
Things. Boo! Things. There we are.
You're alright, calm down. Yes, coming up on today's show, some fabulous television recommendations. We've tried out a few new shows this week, and you should too.
Or not.
Or not. Ooh, adding a little bit of tension there, Paul. Tension. What?
I was just seeing if your man boobs were showing. Have they shrunk?
Well, we both lost a little bit of weight. We've been being awfully good with our food. No cakes for us, Paul. And indeed no bread either. For a while. We had some pitters, didn't we?
Yeah, you made some pitters.
Made some pitters for a friend for dinner. We took them to a friend's house. And but no, we've not been having bread. We've been being good. Anyway,
Richard has not made a loaf, therefore he has denied me the joy of tomato and cheese on toast for lunch.
But you've had the joy of losing some weight. Bread is not good.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, exactly. And we eat the whole loaf in 2 days.
That's not balance.
No, we're not capable of being balanced with food. We have to force ourselves to eat cucumbers.
Well, I'm enjoying those cucumbers.
Yeah, and it's nice of you to remove the horrible big seeds and the spiky, ribbed exterior.
You don't like the ribbed exterior.
I said it was good of you to remove those things.
Doesn't like a ribbed exterior.
No, I don't.
No.
It's far too spiky.
Do you find it pricks your mouth if you have a ribbed exterior?
It does, Paul.
There we are.
Let's carry on with the show, Paul. And coming up later, what we've done this week to remove more of our stuff.
For stuff, you could use a 4-letter word that also begins with S.
Shit. Crap.
Well, crap doesn't begin with S, does it?
Crap, shit, bollocks.
Yeah.
Shush now, Paul.
Yeah.
So, weather. Richard and Paul's Weather Report. That's how we start the show for those of you who are new.
And it has been sticky.
It was sticky. It was sticky in the week, wasn't it? It was
That's
awful.
why I used the phrase, it has been sticky.
You're so clever, Paul. It was very sticky. It was sticky at work as well. I found my whole body to be sticky. Did you?
No, I was fine.
Yeah, I had several sticky moments at work.
I was a little bit humid on the plot doing watering.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
But not like a couple of weeks ago where it really was. Oh, cats. Cat scrap.
That was a car.
Was it? I thought that was a cat
That was
scrap.
somebody turning their car on.
Oh, honestly, why are people turning their... Why do people have cars? They shouldn't have.
Just calm down.
I'm
now,
calming
Paul.
down.
Just calm down. It's getting a bit out of hand.
It's the humidity on the plot.
So it was very sticky in the week, but it's cooled down. Nice cool evenings, cool nights,
breeze.
cool breeze, but still very, very dry. Very dry.
Bone dry.
Dry as a... No, I won't say that.
Actually, at the site, it's got so dry that certain areas are being sort of revealed along the public pathways. We've got old piping that is normally covered by grass. That was the old piping for the water system. And those pipes are now well above ground and, you can see them. It's bizarre.
Well, there's been stories of old medieval gardens
Yes,
being
I saw that.
revealed in the dryness.
Yeah. I mean, it is quite incredible. There was a Rosemary and Thyme where something like that happened, wasn't there? But it is amazing. I mean, this is the time, if you're a agroarchaeologist, to be flying over areas to see what has been there before. Because as you say, what has been under the ground, with all this dryness, it sort of comes up in like a negative photo sometimes.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It reveals structure. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people, flying their little drones around, having a look at these things. Yeah. So anyway, dry. We went for a walk in the Chilterns, which is our favourite walking area, yesterday. And we did notice how dry it looked. I'll run a little bit of VT. So you can see we're walking through the beauty, and then the views reveal how parched some bits of the landscape are. I mean, I said to you, didn't I, Paul? I said to you...
What did you say?
It's usual for August to have dry golden fields with crops.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that the natural areas are a lot drier. I mean, we literally haven't had any rainfall for how long? How long has it been?
Well, we had that break. I mean, this is why we're not actually officially in a drought, because after that hot weather we had heavy rain, didn't we, on the Wednesday?
Reservoirs are a lot lower. There are certain areas of England that are being told to, well, we're being told to keep a cap on our water,
Yeah, I think it's only Scotland at the moment that are being told not to. I mean, you should always preserve water because it is a scarcity, but it's only Scotland at the moment where they aren't being told to improve water saving.
I think there's a couple of
usage.
other areas as well, Paul.
Like where?
I read the list. There was a list, and there's a couple of areas that are being told no problem with water. It's the Southern Water, or whatever it's called, have issued a hosepipe ban, definitely.
Yeah.
Thames Water, I think, are about to.
Well, there's several that have already.
And, I mean, it is mainly the southeast, which is dry.
I think
some of the southwest.
I think it's sort of more area than that. Beep. But yeah, I mean, the good thing is that being allotments and community gardens sometimes being horticultural sites, if they're designated as horticulture, There is an exemption from hosepipe bans, but you would need to check in your particular area. But I'm hopeful that if a hosepipe ban comes in with Thames Water, we will still be able to use hoses, but obviously need to water sparingly and efficiently for the plant, which means making sure that the plant roots are wet, because what you don't want is you don't want a little bit of water, so those roots underneath think, oh, there's water above, and they start to come up above, and then by the time they get there, that area is dried out and those roots die off. So yeah, always make sure to give a good soaking.
So roots do that, do they? They go up to the air, up to the top.
They will travel to where there's water. Yeah, they won't get the number 9 bus to it, but locally they'll travel. Yeah. They put out their little filaments of roots to do that.
So if they're just getting water on the surface, they'll put roots upwards.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, and they increase the growth of roots at the top level.
Never heard of that.
Oh yeah, well, you're hardly an expert gardener.
No.
Grower. Not that I am.
No.
And of course, not that most YouTube gardeners are either.
Oh God, there's some that really just need to give up. Really.
I did actually watch a YouTuber. I won't say who this YouTuber was, but I just thought, what is the point? I mean, people may think that of me. I mean, and it's their right to think that, just like it's my right to think this. But this person was doing something that was so utterly wrong. And I just thought,
mean, Paul.
What's the point?
You're being mean now.
I'm not being mean. This person is enticing people to do something that is completely wrong, that is likely to kill their plants and waste people's money. I mean, this person actually went out, bought plants, put them in, and those plants are going to die. Waste of money.
Good, that's lovely, Paul. Thank you. So, what's been happening this week? Well, I went to work, obviously.
Yeah. How was work for you, Richard?
Work was hot and sticky. Hot and sticky.
We're back to that again.
Oh.
Helicopter.
Oh, it is.
There's been so many helicopters. We must have had or seen at least 1 or 2 helicopters for the last 10 days.
I was wondering whether they were doing like a patrol of the dry areas to make sure there were no fires.
Well, yeah,
Well, that helicopter was up there for like 2 hours the other day.
Yeah, there was a helicopter above us for a good couple of
Well,
hours.
it was
going all around the area.
All around.
Yeah. But there we are.
So, yeah, this week. So work, obviously, hot and sticky, boring. I hate work when it's hot and sticky. I just don't feel as though I can do anything. You do like something manual, like putting some stock away or clearing up something, and you just become so hot and so sweaty so quickly. Paul!
Just trying to give
It's
a bit of
just
action.
so boring. It's unbelievable. I hate all of that. But then we did a little bit more of clearing of rubbish, didn't we, Paul?
And how was work for you this week, Paul? Well, thank you for asking, Richard.
You're very
It was
welcome.
actually quite pleasant because I had a nice breeze going through the office at the top of the house.
Good.
And I wrote a job description for her sake, and also worked on the business plan for her sake. So yeah, quite a few things going on. Yeah.
Good. And then we did
Clearing
of more of our crap. We booked a slot at the dump. Pre-COVID, our dump you could just visit whenever you want. Alexa, please stop. Thank you. And just get rid of your rubbish. No problem. It was chaotic.
And you had to sometimes be in a queue for like half an hour.
It was chaotic, I
Yeah.
have to say. So during COVID, people still needed to be able to get rid of their rubbish.
Well, there was a lot of house clearing things because people were, they might have a spare room with a lot of things in, and they were taking a lot of that to the dump so that they could have a work room to work from home.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot of clearing going on.
So they made a sort of appointment system, and we'd kind of not been to the dump, had we?
We hadn't.
No. And
we got to skip, you'll remember.
Yes, we did. So we decided, and also with Fenella the Igo, she's too small to do anything significant, whereas the old Xantia, I'm not going to carry on if you continue to do that. The old Xantia we used to use like a van, because it had everything. All the seats would lay flat and you could get loads of shit in there.
I also used to use it as a shed.
Well, it was like an extra room.
It was.
But the Igo, I refuse to do anything like that. So we've been building up to doing a run to the dump with old paint tins. Yeah, everything had to be double bagged. The car had to be covered in plastic and sheets before we could do that. So we did that, and I was really pleased.
I think that your sheeting did quite well, actually. Yeah,
it did.
There was no issues with drippage or anything.
The only issue was when you held the package, one of the tin cans, in the wrong way.
Upright.
No, it started to leak.
It was very odd. I'd had this on my lap going to the dump in the car. Or Refuse and Recycling Centre, to give it its proper name.
Yeah, all right.
And then I put it out to take our old printer. And then when I came back and lifted it up, it started leaking.
And skipped the end.
So yeah, I had to walk the rest of the way with a leaking can.
So it was really good that we got rid of that. We've still got quite a bit of stuff, but we're going through it, making sure that before we just decide to have the whole thing removed, that we can recycle whatever we can or give away whatever we can.
Yeah.
So we're still going through it, but it's a lot smaller now. And it doesn't contain any nasty chemicals, which is, other than the ethanol. We've got some ethanol Firebowl gel, which I bought years ago when we had a Firebowl. And actually we're going to keep that, and I'm going to buy one of these longer fire bowls, and I'm going to use it in the fireplace for winter.
I know someone who may have a fireball that will fit in there for winter.
Do you? Who?
Yes, one of the people at the plot.
Oh, really?
Because I was talking about it the other day, and she said, we've got one and I don't use it anymore.
Oh yeah, great, definitely.
So there we are.
Definitely. And it would just give a warmth to the fireplace area for the winter.
As we're sitting here in 3 jumpers and huddled in fleeces.
With no heating on.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality. So there we are. Other things, I did a little bit of clearing in the garden.
Did you?
Did a little bit of raking of leaves and things like that this week. So there is another huge pile of leaves in the centre of the garden. I cut back the grapevine again because it's growing 2 feet a day at the moment. It's crazy. Covered in grapes.
It does grow. That has always grown.
Well,
however much you have hacked it back, it has always grown back.
But there have been a couple of casualties because we're not watering the back garden.
No.
I've given it some water, but I'm not doing like I used to during the summer and putting the sprinkler on every evening. I cannot legitimately do that with the water situation. So we've had a couple of casualties. One of the branches of the magnolia has just died.
Yeah, and I think that sumac has
the
gone
sumac
as well.
has died.
But this is it. When we were driving up to the Chilterns yesterday, I was looking at, as we did coming back from Southampton, at how brown some of the edging, the hedgerow edging and the side of the motorway is, and also, I was watching, reading a post from Carol Drinkwater the other day about her place in the south of France, and they were sitting on their patio the other day and then heard a enormous crack followed by another enormous crack, and 2 huge pine trees had broken and fallen down, and that was completely down to the lack of water. And I think this winter, it's going to, if we have strong winds, it's going to be a winter where an awful lot of trees come down, because so many of them will be destabilised or injured without, the usual water.
We saw several yesterday, didn't we, in the woodlands that have just gone, that have just snapped.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there may have been quite a few weakenings.
Yeah.
With the last storms that we had, and maybe the dryness is just the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Yeah, so there we are. So that was all good. Also, a lot of our pots have been taken.
Yeah.
Our neighbour over the road took, I think, 10 pots, and
these are sort of terracotta.
Just a selection of pots that you might have seen them on other vlogs that will be on Planet Vegetaria. Me clearing bits of the garden out. And then another person has taken a load more, so we've only got a few left, which is great.
I think there's 3 glazed pots left and 1 other pot that I'm going to take to somebody else.
I have saved about 20 odd pots. They're at the bottom of the garden. Whether I'll ever use them, I don't know.
No, but I think it's good to have
I've saved
those.
all the good ones.
Well, you saved all the ones that you wanted. Yeah.
So there we are. That's all lovely. So clearing stuff out, which feels good. Yeah. Paul, you wanted to say something about For Earth's Sake. That's the plastic-free shopping experience in Cranley. Sorry.
So yeah, it's we're having a little refurb over Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So the shop is actually going to be shut those 3 days. Nothing major, no major changes, but it's just an annual refurb with the shop, or for the shop. And it will be interesting to see next time when I go down. I can't speak today. No. Next time when I go down, the changes that have been made. So yeah, if you do shop there, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we will be shut. Opening Thursday. And if you are one of the satellite shopping hubs, there's no change to deliveries or anything. Yeah. So, and we are looking for a member of staff, part-time, contract, like I'm on a contract.
It's a shame we don't live near her.
It is a shame we don't live near her. Of course, we could live near her, but we're not going to live near her. But yeah, it's
How
basically.
Could we live near her? We couldn't possibly afford a house.
Oh, you'd
in
be
Surrey.
surprised. You'd be surprised sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, we're looking for somebody to organise and develop the satellite hubs. So we have a number of hubs in villages where people drop their bags and their shopping list to a particular place. We go and pick up those bags. We do the shopping in the shop. We take the bags back, all with electric vehicles, and the customers pick up their fully shopped bags from where they drop them off. And it's a really good service. And of course, it stops mileage, people travelling into the shop and back, all of that. So it's a really good service, and we're looking at expanding that into other villages around Cranley, up to about 15 miles radius. And we're looking for somebody to work 16 hours a week to develop that. So not only with the hubs we already have, but develop new hubs with, different groups, different villages, women's institutes, that type of thing. So yeah, there's quite a lot going on, and I'm also changing the business plan at the moment and hope to have that sorted by the end of the month so that we can start doing other things. Ooh. So yeah, quite a lot going on.
Lovely, Paul. Thank you for that interesting and absorbing update. What?
Oh, you sound so sincere.
I am sincere. Totally.
Oh dear.
So, poil. What have we watched on television this week, Paul? It's been a bumper week.
It has
It's
been
a bumper week for television, for enjoyable, good television.
And
a couple of...
yeah.
So, let's start off with Paper Girls on Amazon Prime.
Really
Excuse
enjoyed
me,
it.
I'm making a video.
They've gone now. Really, really enjoyed it. It's sort of like, it's not like Stranger Things, but it's been sort of put into that type of genre bracket.
Yeah.
And I think quite rightly. And I'm intrigued. We've got to the end of series 1. We watched the whole thing over a matter of maybe 4 days.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed it. So, looking forward to series 2, which hopefully will be recommissioned and be out in a year's time.
So, for those of you who don't know, without any spoilers, this is a group of paper girls set in the US. It's about these girls doing their paper rounds on the day after Halloween.
Hell's Day.
The morning after Halloween.
Have you ever heard Hell's Day before?
Never heard of it.
Nor me.
I don't really know. But basically, it's during the sort of aftermath of Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Hallows Day.
Evening. Yeah. It's the aftermath. So there's lots of debris in the streets. There's still a few groups of young men being rowdy, and they're having to deal with this on their paper round. And they basically club together these 4 girls and say, let's stick together to protect each other, blah, blah, blah. And they fall into an adventure unexpectedly. And it's the story of that adventure, which is, quite intense. There are a few scenes which were a little bit too long.
There was one episode in particular where they all visit one of their team members' houses, and it was just far, far too long.
I mean, these are 12-year-old girls, so there are some sort of coming-of-age moments, so to speak, but it's definitely recommended. We enjoyed it, apart from the slightly too long scenes, but it's worth a watch if you've got Amazon Prime. We watched a movie on Amazon Prime also called Clara.
Yes, which I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, me too. This is the story of a professor who is also a lecturer. Well, they are.
Well, he's a professor at a university. Yeah.
And he also spends his time planet hunting and searching for extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
And this is the story of his search, and Clara is the person who eventually assists him with this search in an unconventional way.
Yeah.
And it's the story of them, and won't tell you anything about it. Again, recommended. A little intense in places. It's mainly to do with relationships, really.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a twist to it as well. So, Clara on Amazon Prime. We also watched It Part 2.
Yes. So this is the original It. That, what was that, 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Yeah.
It's sort of, again, it's about a group of kids. As It Part 1, we meet all those kids, and It Part 2, we then see them as adults, and it just has a sort of charm to it that I don't think the modern version that was redone last year, or last couple of years, did. It's quite a homely watch because, we've known the story and we've watched maybe this version 4 or 5 times over the years.
Loads of times,
and I mean the ending is a bit twee. It's sort of you have two parts, as I say. So you've got 3 hours of this, and then the ending sort of finishes in a matter of 5 minutes. It's sort of a bit bizarre that way. But yeah, I just really enjoy it. And of course it's Stephen King. We talked about it last week. Very big, thick book, but certainly worth a read.
The book is great. I love the book.
How many times have you read the book?
Probably 4 times.
I've read it twice.
There are things that happen in the book that don't happen in the TV show.
They chose not to put into the series.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of really sort of strange things that happen between the kids, which I don't think
nowadays
you could get away with that. But read the book and see the movie as well, the new movie, because it is good.
Oh, absolutely.
And it certainly has shades. They borrowed moods from the original TV miniseries. So it is both worth a watch, but we enjoyed that. And of course it's Tim Curry as Pennywise, so fantastic. And we recorded that on a
Sci-Fi,
cable channel, wasn't it? On a cable channel. Back to Netflix now. Fabulous series. Archive 81.
Yeah.
On Netflix. This is a sci-fi horror. Supernatural, yeah. Is it sci-fi? Yeah. Sci-fi, supernatural horror.
Yeah.
This is the story of an archivist who restores film, video, and he gets taken on to restore a set of videotapes that have been damaged in a fire. And he's there to restore these tapes in a remote location that he's given to work in.
Is it Catskill Mountains?
Yeah, and he has to get on with the job, and it's the story of what happens to both him and the characters in the videotape, if you like, in the videotape that he's restoring and revealing.
It's a found footage series, basically, but with a different slant to it.
And there are basically 2 main characters: the person on the videotape footage and the person restoring them. There are peripheral characters, obviously. And it's it is horror. It is horror. And it is quite scary. And there's a couple of shocking moments. But it's not shocking like...
it's not shocking like something else we watched.
Like that one with Toni Collette.
Oh, Inheritance.
Inheritance? No.
Yeah, Inheritance.
No. Hereditary.
It's
not shocking like... I loved Hereditary, but it was it's a total shocker.
Yeah.
It's a shocker. It's a real shocker. It's Ari Aster, isn't it? He did Midsummer, which I've never seen and I don't want to see. I don't want to see any more of his films. Hereditary was enough for me, but I still enjoyed it because it was so bold. Oh God, that scene at the end.
Yeah, don't go there. Yeah.
Blimey. Oh, please, Paul, it's only a film.
I know.
Come
but
on,
it's
just effects. Yeah. You have to divorce yourself sometimes from... You have to tell yourself it's a film.
Yeah, I'm quite... I mean, with that, I'm quite happy to do that, but I just thought it was gory to the extreme. I really did.
Yeah, but it was quite gory.
It's like all those...
Archive 81, the scene with...
Well, yes, that was but I
gory.
didn't find that as shocking as Hereditary.
No. If you've not seen Hereditary... I do recommend it because Toni Collette's excellent and the story is really dark.
Yes, it
has. There are some dark moments.
It has quite a lot of barbed moments as well. Anyway.
Just remembering,
Yeah.
Anyway, So Archive 81 on Netflix, thoroughly recommended if you like the horror genre.
We've got 2 episodes to go, and then that is it, unfortunately.
Well, I hope there's a conclusion.
Yeah, I hope there's a
I
conclusion.
hope it's satisfying.
Yeah, it was one of those that they had commissioned for 6 series and they're not doing any more. So I hope it does conclude.
You see, I think it would just be nice for it to conclude.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think sometimes, let's just have a series as a series. It doesn't need to go on for 6 or 7 series. I know there aren't really cost savings in it because each series usually gets more expensive because it becomes popular. But yeah, I hope it concludes.
Yeah, so do I. We also started, is it on Prime? Them?
Oh.
We started watching Them, which is again a series.
Yeah.
This is set in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it is about a black family going to live in a very nice white neighbourhood.
Yeah. I think it's part of the Great Migration, is it called? Where in that time there was an awful lot that
from the south
moved,
to the
more affluent
Midwest.
and different.
I'm not sure. I'm not very good with American history, but
we switched it off.
We switched it off not because of the subject matter, but because it became intensely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Intensely uncomfortable. I think I would like to pick it up again.
I'm not going to. Definitely
because
not.
I'm intrigued as to how it's going to move forwards. It got to one point and we were both squirming.
Yeah.
I had to stand up and look out the window and I said, no, we need to stop.
There was a particular point where they mentioned something. The family's got a dog, and it was basically one of those things as, is the dog going to die? And we hate anything like that. Where
it wasn't
animals,
that.
Well, no, for me it was.
It was.
And then no, let me carry on.
God.
And then I decided to find out what happened with the dog. And then I found out other things. And actually just reading about the premise of this film and the other things has scarred me.
Well, it's a series.
It's a series. Yeah, it's a series, not a film. It's a series.
Look, let's get...
I will not be watching any more of it.
This is about...
racism.
Hatred
to other people.
Hatred, intimidation.
Yeah.
Awful people ganging up on this one family.
And abuse, violence. It's just not what I'm going to watch.
It's really harrowing subject matter, and it's also the it's kind of quite shocking to see it in your face and realise that people went through this. I mean, we all know what black people have gone through.
And people are going through this today.
Black people, brown
as
people,
well.
Whatever the colour, the
minority.
The
minority. Yeah, it's not actually about colour. About whether it's not about people of colour. It's about minorities, and this is what I don't want to see this type of thing. I didn't. After I read what I read, I didn't actually think this series needed making. To be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I just think that there are some things that...
I think there's a lot of people that would disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but that's why we have our own personal opinions.
Yeah, harrowing to the extreme.
I'm finding it really challenging to watch things where people are haranguing or harassing animals or people, and I just think, what is the point of that? I think there's horror in real life, and then horror in non-real life needs to be more non-real, if you see what I mean. We know the horrors that have gone on in life. We don't need to be spoon-fed them over and over again. We need to know about them and know that things have to change.
Well, I don't think we're being spoon-fed them because we all make a choice as to whether we watch or not.
Absolutely.
So, you know, yeah, I don't know. I kind of... There's a gritty side to the mother in the family.
The actors, fantastic.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. There's a gritty side to the mother in the Black family. And she's loading a gun at one point. And I was kind of like, yes, is she going to turn and we're going to find out she's a real hard bitch and she's going to get them all, you know? Is that how it's going to be? Because I hope it is, you know. But I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure that's how it turns out. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it on my own.
Yeah, because I definitely won't be watching it.
There you go, you see. Strong reactions. And another one that we switched off, Uncoupled, which is about a mature gay couple who split up. Well, I was bored within the first 5 minutes.
Well, it
was so cliched, it was untrue, wasn't it? You know, it's all about these wealthy, rich,
white,
mainly white,
gay
people, affluent, all with beautiful bodies, and you know, even though they're like in their 50s, and it's like, yeah, right. This is not reality.
Amazing apartments, amazing lives, amazing clothes, amazing watches.
I'm not interested. We don't watch things like that, do we? We don't watch.
It was white privilege, white gay privilege in this instance as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it just didn't feel authentic.
And it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. We didn't really fall in love with anybody.
No. In fact, we didn't like anybody.
It was boring.
You know, we've said this before. You need to fall in love with the characters. You know, if somebody is losing something, you need to feel something for them. And it's Neil Patrick Harris, who I think is great. I really like Neil Patrick Harris. And Neil Patrick Harris in Gone Girl, which you haven't seen but I have. I think it's a great film. You know, is brilliant. And Neil Patrick Harris is
right.
You know, he's gay and he gets parts across the board, and I think that's how it should be. But this series,
no, boring.
Yeah.
Move next.
It felt dated.
And that's it for our weekly roundup of our television viewing.
That was quite a lot this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah.
Enjoyable.
Yeah.
Enjoyable, apart from the ones we switched off.
But it's also interesting to watch things and sort of go, actually, I don't like that. You know, don't you think that? Do you think that?
Yeah. No.
And there's quite a lot of people who have switched off this now, weren't there?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for this week's Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
It's time to say goodbye. It's time to get on with our shiz. Yeah.
With our what?
With our shiz.
Is that a sort of Jewish
What's the
term?
shiz? What's the shizzle?
Oh,
What's going on?
There we are.
Yes. I love you so much.
Oh, what, my hair?
I want to squeeze you and grip my teeth.
Is that my muscles and my manly fullness? Is that what you love?
No, just So
bananas. That's what I say. Yeah.
Tits, bumps, and willies.
Lots of innuendo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
No, just plain in your face, tits, bums, willies.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah.
So thank you for watching. You can switch off now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See you again.
Come back soon.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye.